G'day, Finru here. How you doing? Welcome along. Homebrew Wednesday on a Thursday. Probably noticed I've had a shave. Anyway, I won't go on about it. It's just one of those things that you think, oh my god, I'm sick of it. Anyway, I was just out here, and what I was doing was just putting three more people on the board of fame. So what we got is you can see there, Hhbw Girl. Hhbw Girl's there. She's a wonderful home brewer, and she just loves brewing beer at home. And she's got a small flat, and she's been doing, well, I'm pretty sure she's got a small flat, sort of the impression I get, and she's been used to do all grain, but now does kits and ciders of beer and whatever she can do, and she really enjoys it. I love her channel. She hasn't put anything out for a while, but hopefully she will soon. Just across from there, the guy with the big grin on his face, Brew a Bit Rick Shaw. Great channel, very popular, and he's brewing all sorts of all grain and has a lot to chat about, and so he always comments on, well, quite often comments on my channel when I watch his channel, so he's really cool. So welcome, Hhbw Girl and Rick, and also down the bottom there we've got the Backyard Brewer from Australia, who has an awesome channel as well. Everyone does. I really enjoy his channel. He puts content out from time to time. Would like to see a bit more from him, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's well worth it. He does a show called 15 Minutes in the Brewery, where he talks about his brewing. So yeah, great to have you three on the board. Here's Baxter. All right, fella? Gonna come up and say good day? Hey, all right? He's been a good boy this week. So we're spring here in New Zealand, and that means the hops are starting. So I've got my wife. I asked my wife if she can get me some of this coarse sort of rope here. I haven't been using this sort of stuff, and yeah, I think I really need to use it. I tried all sorts of stuff thinking it would be okay, and last year wasn't so flash, but it could be a number of reasons why the hops aren't growing very well. But anyway, so next week what I'll do is I'll do a video on the hops, and I've seen some bull shoots starting to come up, really thick, really looking good. So I gave them a good watering today, and also fed them with some my worm pea and a little bit of the old fish fertilizer, and actually might tomorrow also put in some, what do you call it, the where you burn wood, the ash, potash. See, I got it out in the end. Potash, so that'll be good. So I'm going to be mixing up and doing a lot of stuff. So that's going. So I'm hoping that's going to go really well. Actually, I'm really enjoying the sun. It's really got me out of my bed. And my wife actually rang me up this morning and said, "Are you still in your bed?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Get up. It's a beautiful day. Get in the sun." And actually, what I did was I got up and I walked in the sun. I thought, I was feeling really tired, and I thought, what am I going to do? And I looked at some things that I had to do, and I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do. So what I did was I went in the kitchen, I made a cup of tea, and I sat down. This is how bad it is. All of a sudden I had a thought. I thought, you know what? I'm going to go in and see the boys at the brewery, at the Wigan Brewery. I'm going to go in there and give them a bit of shit. I'm going to start giving them a bit of the old flack. What have you been doing? What have you been brewing and everything like that? So I did. And I had a shower, had a shave, and down I went, and had a great chat with the boys, and came back and had a couple of beers, and watered my plants, tidied up my hops, and I'm going to move a few things around. I'll do a video for that next week. It should be good. Now, on the brew front, I've got a couple of things to talk about. I've got one thing to talk about on the brew front, or a couple of things on the brewing. The Coal Miners Stout is okay to good. It needs a bit of beefing up with some golden syrup or some more malt, just to beef it up a little bit. On its own, it's pretty thin. However, after a few weeks, it's still on tap. After a few weeks, it's okay. It's good. Okay, I will say it's good. And I use the yeast from that kit. I think I'm going to have to. I think in this situation, yeah. Okay, so you call me a liar, but I actually think that it would have been better with the US-05. There you go. And I do still say that there's nothing wrong with the yeast that they provide you in kits, but they are pretty plain, and they do suit, I guess, conditions where you can't control temperature and things like that. There's not much many esters going on. It's pretty plain on the yeast side as far as esters go and things like that with the kit yeast. But if that's all you got, it's all you've got, and you'll do well with it. The other one was, and I'll pour it out now, the other one was the honey ale, which I did, which is another kit one. Let me just pour this out. So if you remember, I did about nearly half a kg of honey, and I put it in at 5 minutes. And this one's turned out all right, and I did use the recycled yeast from the kit before. And once again, I think that USO 4 or 05 even would have made a better job on this. Pardon me. Cheers. It's actually really nice. It's actually a good beer, but it would have been better with a different yeast. And I'll keep bleating on about it. I just don't want people to think the yeast that they get in the kits is rubbish. I just think that it's just not probably. I mean, it's a starting point. It's a point where you can actually start to think to yourself, yeah, oh yes, so how can I improve my beer? Maybe I'll change out the yeast. It's not terrible. It's actually very nice. And but when you've been making really good beers and experimenting with your yeasts and doing starters and temperature control and that, you really start to get quite picky. It's got a slightly dry finish. It did finish, I think it finished at 10-11, I think it was. Which shouldn't be too dry. But anyway, so that's what it is. So that's it was the brown ale kit beer from Mangrove Jacks or what the other one. So anyway, I think I would agree with everyone now, because I went into it thinking to myself, you know what, there's nothing wrong with that yeast, and now I still think there's nothing wrong with the yeast, but now I think that there are better yeasts out there, as we know. Right, so I'll move on from that. Got that, done that. In the fermenting fridge, I've got the Tired Bastard. Wonderful. Brewed the Tired Bastard last Friday. I fermented it for 3 days, and the next day I fermented it at 19 degrees, and then the next day I put it up to 22 degrees. It's still at 22 degrees, and today is Thursday. It looks like it's just about ready to stop. I won't even bother doing a gravity reading at the moment because it hasn't quite finished. Every now and again it'll give a bit of a burp. But yeah, that I'm really looking forward to getting that in the glass. And so I did the home. So as you know, you guys know, I struggle with my fatigue, chronic fatigue, and haven't been doing all grain. And it went well the other day, last Friday. It went really, really well, and I just took my time, and took me a while, but yeah, I was really happy. Had plenty to eat, and just enjoyed it. It was a beautiful day as well. It was 18 degrees. Today's 20 degrees, I think. So we're in spring now in New Zealand, and hops are starting to go, and I've been seeing some guys over in America who are harvesting their hops. Wonderful stuff. Stoney's one that I've seen. It's just really good to see, with opposite sides of the world. It's really good. So I've got the Thai bastard in there, and she's ticking away. Fortuitously the other day, my brother looked after me. He sent me a text and said, "Have you got a parcel in the post?" I said, "No." But I did. I said, actually, I got a thing in the letterbox. It said, "You missed the courier." So I arranged to get the courier to re-drop it off. And look what my wonderful brother sent me from Auckland. This is Hhbw, which I'm pretty sure is a it's a like a pigeon. It's a wood pigeon, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so Hhbw, and the ingredients in this beer, hang about, because this is interesting. We've got water, New Zealand barley, New Zealand hops, New Zealand black truffles, no less, New Zealand black truffles, yeast, and it has been, what do they say here? It has aged for 27 months in French oak red wine barrels that previously held New Zealand whiskey, the single malt company. Okay, now it's a bit scary, but it says here this beer is called the Overmoon Truffled New Zealand Whiskey Barrel Aged Imperial Stout, 500ml bottle, which comes to standard drinks, 5.1 standard drinks, at 12.8%. 12.8%, and I got this a couple of days ago. It's still in the bottles. I'm frightened. I'm scared. Finru is nervous. However, what I will do is I'll put these over here, but they're just there. Probably see it. What I'll do is I'm going to wait until the time is right, and I will maybe have some smoked chicken, some smoked fish, or some smoked beef, or something like that, some pork, or maybe my son can get me a pig, and I can smoke it on the smoker, and then that's a great idea. You hear me, Sammy? That would be awesome, because this is really something to be savoured. I think that the situation with something like this is, I'm not just going to tear it off and taste it. I'm going to wait till the time is right. Is that a part of a soul? So wonderful. Thank you, Jason. I will really enjoy those. They're absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. 12.8%, so it's nearly 13%. So that's the Imperial Stout. Imperial Barrel Aged Stout. So it's wonderful. So that's about it from me, I think. I've got to, so next week what I'll be doing is I'll show you a video about the hops, how I grow my hops, and how the barrels are going. Since the wine barrels that I plant the hops in, and I put the linseed oil and preserve them and everything like that, and they're actually going very well. So anyway, everyone, you take care. I'm happy to be back on the all grain. Nothing wrong with kit beers. It kept me going through the winter, and it kept my brewing going, so I'm really happy about that. And so cheers, everybody. You take care.